Hello, these are some shots I took a few hours ago. They're test shots since I did use the same lens yesterday with the Nikon D700 for some people that want to know about the image production of the D700. These were all shot out of the Nikon D750 using the same lens, the Tokina 100mm 2.8 macro. There were a few people that complained about the sharpness of the image, but you have to realize that even at f16 or f11, your depth of field is only a very few millimeters, and when you're doing that handheld, and especially it was a windy day, and today was even windier, then there's not much in depth of field when you're doing a macro work. It operates obviously like a regular lens when you're taking shots like this, but for those of you that thought that the shots were out of focus, they're not. It's just that we have an extremely narrow depth of field when taking macro shots, even at a very high f-stop. Now, all of these were taken at ISO 800, and they were sampled. Some of them are very boring shots, but they haven't been edited or they haven't been cropped yet, so I just thought I'd leave them as shots. And they were sampled at 800 to DPI. I could have gone 1200, but it would have, even with 16 gig of RAM, it would have taken me half the day to do it. So I had more than a few people chirp up yesterday. It's like, well, you just got the D750. What's wrong with you? You should have taken some test shots with the uh, Nikon D750 instead of the D700. So anyway, here are those shots today, and I'll have download links for you below. Like I said, none of these, compositionally these are boring, but they haven't been edited and they haven't been cropped yet. So, and like I said, they could have been sharper because I only sampled these at 800 DPI. But nevertheless, these were all shot with the Nikon D750. You'll notice a radical difference in rendition on these versus the Nikon D700 from yesterday. Like this one shot. I could have actually stopped this down about another stop or so, but no big deal. Take a look. Totally different rendition of some of the same shots using the exact same lens today versus yesterday with the Nikon D700. Yeah, the D750 is certainly a joy to deal with, and a lot of the hidden secrets, if you will, of the Nikon D750 can't be seen in the photograph. And what do you mean by that? It means that the shadow detail that can actually be brought out in a Nikon D750 shot is rather tremendous. I mean, what you think is just totally black and not there can really, really be brought out, and that is something that you can find test shots of online, and I just thought I'd show you a few of these from the D750. So if you think the shots are out of focus, just please remember these are macro shots, but you have an extremely narrow depth of field. Not only that, I'm doing it handheld, and not only that, it's also very windy. I have to capture the flowers and whatnot between the strong gusts of wind. A lot of these are vertical shots too, so. And I thought I'd actually take this shot as an introduction to my next video, which I'm going to call What is Douchebag Photography? And this kind of makes a perfect example of what my next video is. It's going to be called What is Douchebag Photography? This is a lovely little shot. It's very low to the ground, and obviously one of the advantages, of course, to the Nikon D750 is the flip out to rear LCD screen. So instead of actually squatting in the dirt like you're about to drop a pile, you can flip out the screen on your D750 and take some macro shots with it. This is a tiny little flower, very low to the ground, and if you actually look in really close, which I didn't notice until I looked at the shots here, as you can see, a a little bug critter that's dwelling in this tiny little flower. I didn't actually see that when I took the shot. Like I said, these could have been sharper. I could have sampled these at 1200 DPI. So if you're going to complain about sharpness, you have to remember two things. These are macro shots for one, so the depth of field is insanely narrow. Number two, they're only sampled for JPEG conversion at 800 DPI. I could have done it 1200. So please, when you look at these sample shots, take that into necessary consideration, of course. It's at the Arboretum. Here's a great color. Love it when nature produces its own color samples so that you can actually take a look at sensor and AD conversion rendition. Here's the important thing that everybody keeps missing about a macro lens. You're missing half the world. You're actually missing more than half the world by having standard primes and zooms. I mean, if you don't have a macro lens, I mean, you can make the most mundane, boring crap. It's like, you would never take a shot of this. Most people wouldn't. It's like, who would take a shot of this? And, you know, I've actually seen some huge prints of stuff like this in this genre of not just composition, but of subject matter, you know, hanging on people's wall. I mean, it intrigues them, and it's because it's not what we normally see in our everyday lives, so it's kind of like, you know, getting a peek at a mermaid or something that nobody ever sees. Everybody's seen all sorts of boring shots, but you know, they never stoop down and take a look at stuff like this. I mean, you're missing so much of the world when it comes to macro photography. These two little bugs had their butts hooked together. I mean, I assume that they're actually copulating. So this is a sex act caught on camera. Here's a rather dry shot, but I mean, these are just test shots. It's a little apple tree. It's got little baby apples on it, and you got one of the ugliest birds in the world, in my opinion, the robin redbreast. Well, maybe not the ugliest bird in the world, but you know, the old robin redbreast, kind of ratty looking, perched there. So anyway, these are all shots from the Nikon D750, sampled at 800 DPI out of the Tokina 100mm 2.8, all handheld. And thanks for watching. If you like this video, drop me a buck or two, or tell me to go jump off a cliff, and I'll catch you later, okay? Bye.